Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is actually going to be, this is season 1, episode 4 of Cutting It and the ATL. Now, there's something that I noticed here with this little show. What is this whole thing about Maya? Like, I noticed that everybody's kind of like, well, they're worried about how Maya feels. They're worried about how Maya views them. They're just so worried about Maya. Is Maya their Nene? Like, does she put this together and she brought the ladies in, or what? I'm going to have to go and do some research because it was really getting on my nerves, especially on this episode, and you'll understand once I go through with my review, because a lot went on, and then everybody was so worried about how Maya was. Fuck Maya. Maya doesn't even like any of you. She doesn't like any of them. She has nothing nice to say about any of the girls. She thinks that she's above all of them and they're all beneath her. Fuck her. Anyway, let's just go ahead and go through this. Maya was with a group of her girlfriends, 2 ladies. They remind me of the witches from Hocus Pocus. I'm sitting there looking at them. I'm like, yeah, these bitches is bitter because they're not, Maya's decent looking, but them 2, the witches from Hocus Pocus, trust me. I was like, wow, they are really, they were like acting like the old lady gang worse than Candy's aunts. I said, whoa, they were like just as bitter. I said, oh my gosh. She had nothing nice to say about not a one of the ladies on the show. And I was like, really, Maya? Okay, whatever. And it's basically, she just wants to use them. She basically wants to use them to sell the hair and whatever and whatnot. But just so down on them. I just, if they're that ridiculous, I just think you should move on. You're looking very desperate in my eyes. But anyway, whatever. There were some really rude things that were said. But next we had Musia. Musia, okay, 4 episodes in. I don't like Musia. Period. I don't think it's going to change. I don't like her. I think she's a decent looking girl and different things like that. Like, there's nothing physically wrong with her or anything. I think she's good looking and everything. She's just a nasty fucking bitch. She really is. She's a nasty fucking bitch. And she's doing interviews and she's just so curt and so fucking nasty. And then, there was a situation about stereotyping and that kind of thing that came up later on in the episode. But then dig it. She's doing an interview on a girl, and the girl is doing a braid, and she said that her braid had knots and that it wasn't neat enough. Okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with her work not being up to the level that you wanted at. But what did her being from, and you're supposed to be from Africa? So what now? Only a bitch from Africa can braid? Because I know a million bitches that's right from here, right from Pittsburgh, that can braid their ass off and ain't never been to Africa. Ain't been nowhere near a jungle, ain't tried to outrun no motherfucking lions, and braid their motherfucking ass off. So why I get so offended when some motherfucker comes at you and says something to you about Africa? But bitch, you did it yourself. But we're going to go back and revisit that. So let's back up. I ain't going to soapbox on that just yet. But she was rude as hell. Rude. And didn't have to do that to that girl. She was just rude. And then told the girl, basically that she wasn't good enough and that she needed to get on. Basically put her out. She put her out. Then, even after the girl was gone, she'll snip the hair off the girl and say, we're going to take this out and this, that, and the other. Now you're talking about her. Yeah, you're a real professional, Musia. You're a nasty fucking bitch. And you're so good, bitch, that you came in last place at that hair show. Shut the fuck up, Musia, bitch. Anyway, moving on. Deedra had met with her Aunt Jonette. And it's so funny. Her Aunt Jonette, as soon as I seen her, I was like, oh, look at her. She reminded me of Patti LaBelle. Back when she used to be with the Bluebells. As soon as I looked at her, I was like, oh, she looks like Patty, back in the day. Patricia Holt, back in the day. I said, oh my gosh. So naturally, I couldn't help but like the aunt. And the aunt was telling some truth, and she was kind of opening up the door to who Deedra is. And she said, Deedra, she said, you were a mean child. Deedra has had some problems with her mother. Her and her mother don't have a good relationship, that kind of thing. And the aunt was telling Deedra, you need to break back from it, and you need to, mend things with your mother. So I'm starting to see some things with Deedra where me and Deedra have some things in common. Deedra's mean. We picked up on that. But it looks as though Deedra's not mean for no fucking reason, okay? Deedra's a grown-ass woman at this point. She has kids of her own. I don't know the whole story, but I know when it comes to me, I'm always being known as being mean. But I'm really not a mean person if you don't fuck with me. But once you fuck with me and you get on the other side, then whatever, it's all fair game. The gloves are off at that point. And this is what I'm seeing with Deedra. Deedra is curt. She's hard. Once she get on the other side, it's really no holds barred. But she told you that. She warned you all. She told you from the door. She told us, don't fuck with her, because when she let loose, it ain't gonna be pretty. I see that. And I understand Deedra. I'm not saying I'm Team Deedra. I'm not saying that she's always right. But I see her. I see her. And I see a lot of me in her. Don't fucking poke the goddamn bear if you don't want to get mauled. We'll get back to it. Let's move on. That goddamn Beauty. She's doing a lot of talking about folks not being on her level. Beauty, baby, what level are you on? What level are you on? I've been watching this show for 4 weeks. I've seen you twice with your hair being acceptable. Other than that, your hair is a mess. You're representing the beauty industry. Your hair, a mess. Your weave don't be blended. Your confessionals, you can see your track where your goddamn bang is put in. The bang is all thick. It's all greasy. You got all kind of fucking wax in that hair, and it looks like plastic. What level is it that are you on that you think somebody ain't on? You're right. You look messy, and you act messy, and you're ghetto as fuck. Anyway, but I laugh. She's always talking about Deedra's not on her level. And Deedra's always on point. You ain't seen Deedra not done one fucking episode. She's always done. You may not like her style, but she's always done. Hair snatch. You ain't caught her one time with a piece of hair out of place. She's always dressed. She's always neat. She's always clean. She's mean, but she's always mean. Fuck, she's consistent, which is more than I can say with these other people on here. And I'm going to say that Maya is pretty consistent. She always thinks she's better than y'all. Anyway, next, Lenya. Flip-flopper. I can't keep up with Lenya. Lakenya's all over the place with her little ugly ass. All over the place. She's all over the place. She's always trying to be on the winning side. She's a punk bitch is what she is. And then you're sitting around wasting people's time. She goes to a business coach. Now, the business coach, I lived for her because she was very honest. Told her, baby, you ain't ready. You ain't ready to open no salon. First of all, you ain't got no motherfucking money. And obviously don't have the clientele to hold it. You're not ready. She told her flat out. She didn't play her, to the left. She told her, baby, you're a hairdresser. You're not no business owner. Sit down. Sit down. Maybe one day, not today. So I was cool with that. Next is when all the shit broke out. We go to the dinner. They had dinner at a place down in Atlanta called Boogaloo's. So Maya got them all together, and they're all supposed to really mend the fences, is what they were going to try to do. Maya basically starts up. Beauty just fucking starts going off on Maya. It was very meany. This is not going to be all about me. We ain't all talking about me, this, that, and the other. But when you really get down to it, every time there's been an issue, Beauty, bitch, you started it. Every time there has been an issue on this program for the last 4 weeks, Beauty has started it. She's been the aggressor every time. So why are you snapping out? And they talk to each other bad. They call each other bitches and stuff. That they need to cut that out. First off, stop calling each other bitches. All of y'all got names. You know, all of you all have names. None of you are friends enough to be calling each other bitches. And Musia does it all the time. She never calls them by their name. You know, she talks down to them all the time. None of you all know each other well enough to be nicknaming each other like that. So that's part of the problem. So Beauty got out of order first. Musia said, listen, let's do this. We need some rules and some order, which I thought it was kind of smart. She said, you got 50 seconds. And you're going to express what you have to express, and then we're going to move on. We're going to burn it up and move on. I'm like, cool, that was a good idea. But then she had to get in her confessional and go on, 51 seconds, I can't take it with these bitches, this, that, that. Always too much extra. But anyway, they went ahead and they did it. Lenya said what she had to say. When it got to Deedra, Deedra's like, fuck this shit. Deedra's like, you know what? I ain't got a problem with none of y'all. I love all of y'all. And she was done with it. Shady. And they, oh, fuck that. You don't even know me and I don't even like you. So I know you can't be loving me. And I'm like, Musia, you made up the rules and now you ain't even following them. They went around when they got to Musia. She just took the time and just started going off on them. Did anybody catch that? You made the 50-second rule. You went off on them for 4 minutes about how you don't like them and they ain't shit and on and on and on. And just saying any old thing you wanted to say. Got to talking shit to Deedra. And Deedra politely told her, who in the fuck do you think you're talking to? And she let her the fuck have it. So I'm laughing. I'm looking around the table. It was all cool. Soon as Deedra stood up for herself, Deedra automatically became wrong in everybody's eyes. Because she, basically, now she done been sat over there and been talked to crazy. And then when she lashed back out and told her, fuck you, you fucking Zulu princess or whatever, she let her have it. She really did. Oh, that was just so wrong. Really? Really? Because you're African, you put yourself up here and you put her down here. And she called you on it. Now she's wrong. We all seen it. We all see it every week. She has a very nasty superiority complex. Very nasty. And if you haven't seen it, you fucking haven't been watching. Musia really feels like she's better. Same as with Maya. She feels like she's better than all of them. Maya included. So, excuse me, when Deedra let her ass have it about the whole African piece and told that bitch to go back to the jungle and all that, now all of a sudden she's wrong. But she didn't cut Musia no deeper than she was cutting her. She really did. She didn't cut her no deeper than what she's cutting her. Now, I'm just going to go here. You know me and my example. I'm going to give you an example. Okay? I had a little issue one time in my family reunion. I was about 14, 15. And I have a cousin who, for whatever reason, she decided I'm going to show off on Shaft. That's what I'm going to do, you know, because that's that kind of the thing that goes on in my family. Anybody can say anything they want to say to Shaft. And then, you know, whenever I start, I'm loud and they can't make me shut up. Okay? And if I decide to fight, you can't get me to stop. So then I'm always wrong. No matter what, nobody ever took time to figure out why we were where we were. No one ever wanted to take the time to figure out how we got where we are, you know. And at a point, I decided not to have to explain to you anymore about how we got there because you're not listening. It don't make a difference. I'm an ass whoop. Either get in or get out the way. That's, you know. And that's how, you know, I eventually, at 15, stopped even bothering going around my family. I literally stopped going to family reunions. I had not been to a family reunion in 25 years. 25 years. From the age of 15 to the age of 40. My one cousin talked me into coming to a family reunion. I came to the family reunion. I wasn't there 10 minutes and a motherfucker tried it. And then when I opened my mouth, Well, you didn't have to say all that. Yes, the fuck I did. Yes, the fuck I did. Don't fucking come for me. If you come for me, bitch, bring lunch. Bring it. And it hasn't gotten better from the age of 15. I'm 40 now. It's gotten worse. And I go straight there. Don't fucking come for me. If you say some out of the way shit to me, I'm going to get you, bitch. I'm going to come for you. Trust me. I'm going to take you all the way to wanting to fight because that's what I want to do anyway. So go ahead. You know, and that's irritating. And I see that with Deedra. So, okay. Anyway, but my cousin went and did all of this. This when I was 15. She sat back there. She's showing off her little girlfriend. She called me every type of faggot that you could really think of. And when I finally lashed out and called her and her baby a bunch of bald-headed bitches, then I was wrong. How'd that work? How does that work? How does that work? Especially when I told, when it was crazy how she came at me and said, oh, someone told me that you called my baby ugly. And I'm like, I didn't even know you had a baby. Like, honestly, I didn't even know you had a baby. You know, I said, I'm sorry. I didn't say anything. Really, I didn't. And it's another cousin who, to this day, she cracks up laughing how she started all this shit. Like, she thought it was so funny that she started this shit. And she admitted it, that she started the shit. She said, he never said anything. I just said it, you know, because I knew they was going to get started. And literally, I stayed away from family for 25 years. But I explained to her, I said to this girl 4 or 5 times, I didn't even know you had a baby. I didn't say anything, you know what I mean? And everybody knew this. But once the argument got started, it really got ugly, you know. And then after it, I was like, you know what, you're not going to keep on barking at me. And at that point, then I told her, I said, well, where is this baby I supposedly said something about? And when I seen the baby, then I went there. I was like, oh, you arguing about that ugly motherfucker? Go please. And I let her have it. So, literally years later, I have another cousin who, and this just kind of gives the dynamic of my family and how things go. We're sitting there, she's explaining to her daughter at this point, who is like 13, 14 years old. And she explained to her daughter, she said, oh yeah, Shaft was a mess when we were younger, you know. And she says, you know, we were sitting there one day and cousin so-and-so, him and her got into it and he called her all kind of bitches. And I'm sitting there saying, wait a minute, hold on, boo. We in our 40s. And did you forget some parts of that story? And she's like, what do you mean? I said, did you fucking forget some parts of that story? So we were just at the picnic and I just start calling her bitches. Oh, no, Chef. I said, exactly. What led up to that? What brought us to that? And she says to her daughter, oh, yeah, well, you know, they were going back and forth. She was calling them faggots and stuff. And then he called her a bitch and stuff. And I said, so I'm wrong? Well, yeah, Chef, because you didn't have to do all that. You didn't have to say all that. What was I supposed to say, sweetheart? But you called her a bitch. Can somebody tell me when bitch and faggot don't sit together? We was both telling the truth. I was a faggot and she was a fucking bitch. So at what point, that's what I said. This is the issue with the family. And I told my cousin, you have always been one of my favorite cousins. The one I'm talking about, just a few years ago. So you've always been one of my favorite cousins. But trust me, had I known all these years that you felt that way about that situation, baby, we wouldn't have been friends. I'd have cut you the fuck off. I'd have cut you off because I don't need to be friends with you. If anytime you feel as though I have to take whatever shit's given out, because that's what happens in my family. Shaft needs to take whatever anybody dishes out. But that's not true. Shaft will smack the shit out of any family member that feels the need to try it. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. Family is me, my mother, and my brother. And everybody else is just extra and added in. And I will smack the shit out of any of them that get out of order. Period. Anyway, so let me get back off my soapbox. Bam. And go into this situation. And this is why I went through all that to bring you here with Miss Deedra. Okay? Miss Deedra. And let me go back for a minute. I'm sorry, let me go back for a minute because I forgot something. Okay, so I gave you all that about when I was 15 and that. Then the cousin that I found out later, years later. When I went back to the family reunion at age 40, this is what actually was said. I got out of my truck. I walked onto the grass of the park. One of my cousins says to me, "Where's your kids?" Not hello, not how you doing. And we're second cousins, okay? So it's not no distant cousin. He's the second cousin. My mother and his mother are first cousins. Where's your kids? Said, "I'm not staying. I came, dropped by to talk to my one cousin, and I'm not here for the whole family reunion. I'm literally here to discuss some things with a few people, and that's it. That's why I didn't bring them. My kids are with my mother." Now dig where we go. Well, if you ain't going to take them nowhere, what did you even adopt them for? Did I fucking miss something? And then, you know me, I went right there from 0 down I-279. I said, really? You really want to discuss my adoptions? You really want to go there? Are you willing to talk about your medical records? Because if you talking about my motherfucking adoptions, you better be ready to talk about your motherfucking medical records, bitch. Oh, Chef, you didn't have to say all that. Why? You think my adoptions ain't as prevalent in my life as his fucked up medical records? You want to attack my character? Motherfucker, I'll attack your charts, bitch, and let's see who they laughing with. See, because you're not going to kiki at me, bitch. I give out the kikis, bitch. I'm not the product of the kikis, okay? But this is what I was saying about how my family, in their mind, for whatever reason, they have this thing where they think they can say anything to me, and I have to take it. And if I respond, then I'm wrong, because I always respond so fucking good. And I do. I cut deep. Don't pick up a knife if you're not going to cut a bitch deep. Don't pick up a gun if you're not going to shoot a bitch. Don't threaten a bitch with a bullet. Sit there while it burns her. Don't sit there and tell her about how you're going to shoot her. Shoot that bitch and keep it moving. Anyway, okay, so let me get off the soapbox and let me move on. Okay, so they're at the table. They go through all that, and it's steadily going on and on and on. So now they're basically attacking Deedra because that was terrible that she said this shit to Musia. Fuck Musia. She deserved it. Beauty is steady going on. And it's still about this $100 that Lenya owes her. So her whole issue with Deedra is the fact that Deedra hired Lenya. And Deedra's making a shitload of money because Lenya has a clientele. And she's paying her booth right there. So I wanted her to do it last week, but my girl took and pulled $100 out of her purse, and it wasn't right. It really, it was good, but it wasn't right. Took the money and flung it in Beauty's face. Here's $100, bitch. You keep on fussing about this $100, bitch. Here's the $100. And Beauty sat there for a minute, and what she did was she underestimated Deedra. She looked at Deedra. Yeah, Deedra's thin and all of this. But you didn't know Deedra. Somebody didn't tell you that Deedra didn't play and that Deedra wasn't no pushover. Beauty ran up. She sat there for a minute, and then she literally jumped up and reached for Deedra. She reached for her. So at that point, who got physical? And I mean, again, the money throwing in the face situation was a little bit out there. But the actual physicality came from Beauty. Beauty was being groovy. She gonna reach over there like I think she tried to smack Deedra's what she did. But she was in between, Maya was in between the two of them. Baby, when she reached that arm out, Deedra's a bitch that's bout it. See, you didn't know her. Like I said, they don't know each other that well. Deedra grabbed Beauty's fucking arm, pulled her ass to her, and grabbed her by that raggedy motherfucking weave, and mollywopped that bitch. When I say she mollywopped Beauty's motherfucking ass. And I was so there for it. I don't care what y'all say, you put down in them comments. I was so there for it. It put such a fucking chuckle in my belly because she underestimated her. She thought she was going to really intimidate her and just smack the skinny bitch and go on. Baby, when I tell you, pulled her right on across Maya, knocked Maya all down, and all you saw was they couldn't even get her off of her. They couldn't even get her off of her. Deedra was still in heels, still in the dress, still done, standing over top of Beauty, pulling her motherfucking brains out. Do you hear me? She was letting her have it. And I was so there for it. Violence is not always the best, but sometimes it's so motherfucking good. She yanked the shit out of her, and I enjoyed it. Now, then, Maya was like pissed. And then that's again where I said, what is this whole thing with Maya? Because Maya was going off on the backs, the people, the production team. Are you all fucking kidding me? This, that, thing, and the other. She was pissed at the fact that it got physical and she was stuck in the middle. She was pissed. And one thing I want y'all to do, y'all better listen to Maya. She ain't all here either. I'd love to know more of her background. She's always talking about taking a Xanax and some other things. I don't think she's really emotionally stable. I think that I think somewhere along the line, maybe she had a breakdown or something. But she's on the wrong show. She really is on the wrong show. She's more suited for, I was sitting there saying it, that she's more suited for like a Housewives of Atlanta. You know, where they really don't get physical and that kind of thing. And all this uppity bullshit. I think she would fit better over at Real Housewives. But anyway, Deedra was going out the door to take her out the door. Deedra was telling her, she said, I fucking told you all. I told you. Tell the production people. I told you. We say what we want to say. Don't fucking put your hands on me, because if you do, I'm going to tear it up. And she said, I told you. I told you. The bitch told y'all. And she said it a couple times during the program. She let her ass have it. She lit her ass up. I was so happy. It was so funny to me. But anyway, then she goes, next thing you see Beauty sitting in the nail salon. Nails and shit's all broken shit. She's sitting in the nail salon telling her sister, she's leading her sister to believe that she whooped Deedra's ass. Honey, I don't know what part of you was at. You got your ass whooped. You really did. No questions asked. You were on the ground being drugged. That girl never touched the ground. That girl was leaning over top of you, pulling your fucking brains out, and was still all together. She yanked your fucking brains out. Dumbass. Anyway, and the sister was like, oh yeah. Her hair was a fucking mess too. Somebody need to get her together. But she's all like, yeah. She threw money in your face? Oh, fuck that. This, that. You know, they're real ghetto and real about it. But your sister's a punk. Your sister's a punk. Your sister's a non-fighting ass with a big mouth and telling you a story, baby. Wait till you see the footage, boo. We got the little hooker on tape. Your sister ain't did nothing but got her ass yanked. Anyway, moving on. Then we see Lenya again. Lenya was all crying and I'm so, you know, this, that, thing, and the other. Full shit. See her again, wasted another realtor's time. If you ain't got no money, go sit down. Talk about after that, I really want to get my own salon started. You still didn't have any more money than you had on Sunday. You didn't have any more money than you had on Wednesday. Go sit down, Lenya. I'm getting sick of her ass. And she flip-flopping back and forth. And that's what, you know, she's crying, saying she's so sorry to Deedra, that it all was about, you know, that it had to do with her and everything. And Deedra was like, girl, look, we came. We work together. I'm not going to let nobody do you like that. I'm very protective over people that I let in my life. You know, and I was like, oh, okay. And the next thing I know, she's in the confessional talking about, you know, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do with Deedra when people can't even accept or admit to their wrongs. Deedra admitted to everything that she did wrong when they were talking. Everything that she did wrong, down to throwing the money, she said that she was wrong. Fuck Lenya. And we see you, bitch. You're shady. You're shady as hell. And I hope before we're done with this, I hope Deedra drag you too, bitch. And fucking beautiful. Girl, I don't want her to hurt you. This, that, and the other. Girl, she didn't talk bad about you all over town. She trying to get people on her side. She ain't got her fucking ass whooped. Anyway, it was ridiculous. It was really, really ridiculous. And I just I seen Deedra a whole different way. I understand her. I understand you, Deedra. I don't, fuck it. Beat they motherfucking ass. If you need to beat another one of them bitches' ass, beat that bitch's ass too. Anyway. So, Maya went and talked to some more of her friends. Again, talked about them all real bad, this, that, and the other. I don't know. It's a mess. And then the last thing that we seen, Musia missed, I don't have time for any of the drama. Last thing we saw, she's sitting in a restaurant talking to Maya, telling her about how Beauty sent somebody to spy on her at her salon. Keeping the shit going. I don't like shit, but, well, you know, that kind of bitch. And I'm kind of wanting somebody to yank her too, because she talk a lot of shit too. You know, a lot of shit talking. And it'd be nice to see somebody snatch the fuck out of motherfucking Musia too and shut her up. And I know you can't have all that fighting, but it would be, I would feel so happy to just see her go around and really just whoop all their ass for real. But anyway, Deedra, what she needs to do, and I'm guilty of this. You already know that you're not going to play well with others. So you need to remove yourself. She needs to not really go around them anymore. She really does. You know, you keep putting yourself in the position. And I'm guilty of that. You know I haven't changed. I know there's certain things that I'm not never going to change. Yet I have this tendency to always still try to give another chance. And that's your fault. That is my fault. You know, because I put myself in harm's way. And then when the shit goes off, it's partially my fault. Because I didn't even have to deal with these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? They're not an asset. Same situation with me. These people aren't an asset. These motherfuckers ain't never done nothing for me. And with Deedra, you don't need these motherfuckers for nothing. You really don't. You know, now you got to film with them so you can get your check. But other than that, you don't need them motherfuckers for shit. But anyway, well, I'm going to keep on watching. But yeah, Miss Deedra, honey, she sure showed them something. All right, y'all. So I done went 32 minutes here. Thumbs up, thumbs down. You guys know how that works. Put it in the comments. Tell me what you guys think. And I will get back with you all next week. All right, guys. Bye.